November 3, Golf Kilo Victor.
November 3, Golf Kilo Victor. Go ahead.
Hey, very good, Jim. Name here is Bob. QTH is near Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I just wanted to kind of check. I have an FTDX-101B with a Electro Voice RE320 microphone. I just wanted to kind of check if we're running this thing at 50 to 3050. I didn't know if it would be better off at a 100 to a 2900 setting, or I guess maybe you can tell me whatever else might need adjustment. Back to you.
Roger, I recommend running 100 to 2900. It keeps your friends happy and your enemies from coming to look you up. So I run and recommend running 100 to 2900. So can you go to that mode and let me hear you on that mode?
Okay, I should be on that mode now. I was changing it while you were telling me that. Back to you.
All right, and let's tell me about your antenna system.
Okay, well, the antenna we're using right now is 130-foot end-fed. It's up about 33 feet. Some other antennas are a 40-meter dipole up around the same height, and butternut HF9V and a Mosley TA53M. So back to you.
Roger. Now, your EQ curve is very nice. You're full all the way down to the bottom, 100 cycles. The problem is, though, that, in HF radio, we have a thing called phase cancellation. And that is when all of our signals move by skywave. So in the eventuality that some of it is reflected at just a little later or early time than the majority of it, it starts coming down at a slightly different phase angle. And the first thing that gets canceled, because what happens is when it gets to 180 degrees out of phase with the majority of the signal, it starts to phase cancel, and it starts phase canceling from the top. So what happens then is if it takes the top off, then you're left with this bottom, and you start to sound muddy. So you go from sounding great to sounding muddy, depending on how much blow-by is being reflected at a slightly different time schedule. So what I suggest is maybe if you rolled off a little bit of that bottom end that kept the bottom end from overtaking the top end when the top end gets canceled, you would probably be in a better shape to stay in a legible audio situation. So I would suggest maybe two clicks off the bottom end and see where that goes. Roger?
Okay, KC9VKV. This has the parametric equalizer. I have it at 200. The first one is a 200 hertz and minus 10 bandwidth of 2. So should I be making that wider or and larger bandwidth?
I would go to 100 cycles, and I would do a medium bandwidth. Actually, do you have shelving? Do you have shelving capabilities on the lower frequencies?
Okay, I'm not sure about the shelving. We just have EQ level. I have. Now we're back. Now I'm at 100, and I'm at a minus 10 on the level and a bandwidth of 2.
All right, come back and tell me about your antenna system again.
Okay, the antenna is 130-foot end-fed. It's about 33 feet, and 40-meter dipole, also around the same height, and a butternut HF9V.
All right, I would suggest if you have something in the 100 cycle range or 200 cycle range, I would go a minus 3. If you have something at 100 cycles, I would go minus 3 on that control. Roger?
Let me just, 100, let me just make one other adjustment. Okay, we're at 100 with the minus 3 at this point. 100 minus 3, and bandwidth is 2.
All right, give me something so I can see your audio on my, I have a frequency analyzer. So if you give me something, you sound still heavy a little bit, but I want to see where it is. Tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
Okay, the best thing about the radio, it's built like a tank. Certainly enjoyed the display on it. Also, just enjoy using it in every way. I came from ICOM 7610, which was obviously an exceptional radio, and this one's just works a little differently, but I find it to be very enjoyable.
Roger, Roger. Do you have any controls below 100 cycles?
Well, yes, I think I could go down to probably 50.
No, I mean that are set in there now. Do you have any controllers below 100 cycles as it stands?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
So 100 cycles right now would be the bottom end of your EQ situation?
Let me try one other thing for you. Hold on.
I don't want you to change hardly anything except just right at the bottom end. If 100 cycles is the only control that you have in that area, then I would go ahead and just roll out like minus maybe 8 at 100 cycles, and let me hear what that sounds like.
Okay, we're at the 100, and 100 is the lowest it'll go. So let me just change the level.
I'm sorry, I was switching antennas. I didn't know if you were ended or not. I'm starting to get some propagation differences there. Come back and let me hear you for a minute.
Okay, we're at the 100, which is the lowest I can go, and this is now a minus 8 for 100.
Okay, then the next one up from 100, what is that?
Next one you have is at 900. That is a minus 6 and a 2 bandwidth.
So the next one up from 100 is 900?
Yes.
All right, I would roll 100 all the way out. I would take it all the way out and just make that low frequency roll out there. Did your mic have a low roll switch?
A scoop switch on this thing, which I don't really recall. It was supposed to scoop out, I don't know, bass drum sound, so it does notch it out, I think, maybe around 400.
Is that easy to engage that switch?
Yes, the switch is now engaged, and now the switch is off,
I only noticed just a very slight difference there, not enough to even switch the switch. So you're rolled minus totally on your 100 cycles, Roger?
When you say you rolled off totally, do you mean just to cancel it out, or rolled up to the maximum it'll do?
Negative, minus whatever it can go. The furthest minus level that you can adjust that 100 cycle control.
Okay, this now, the 100 cycles is minus 10.
I think you're sounding better there. When you visit YouTube and check your audio out, you'll hear what I'm trying to do there, and you can hear the difference between when we began and when we ended. I'm right now. I have an input select indicator on my screen down on the lower right of my YouTube video screen, and you can see when I'm switching between the 7300 and the 990, and you can see when I switch to other SDRs. I'll tell you that in the IC 7300 has a really extended low end when you're in filter 1. Filter 1 is like not filtered, but I guess they call it a filter, but it has an extremely good frequency response down to, it looks like about 50 cycles or 75 cycles, much extended lower end than my 990, and I've EQ'd my 990 to be very flat from 100 to 3 or in excess of 3. So anyway, go to YouTube and check out our Qso-Vlog network and see what you think, Roger.
Okay, very good, Jim. Thank you. Didn't want to take up this much time with us. Let you get on with some other people. KC9VKV 73, and thank you again for your help.
Roger. And that was on the 7300. You had a really good signal that time, and you still have your bass, but it's not overpowering, and even if you lost some of your top, you would still have a very balanced signal. So threes to you, sir, and you have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend, Bob. And maybe if you get a chance, drop back by next Friday and let me know what you think about the EQ that we're working on.
I will do that for sure. We'll watch a lot of your vlogs. So thanks again, 73 and 3GKV clear.
Roger, roger. Threes that way, sir. This is KC9VKV, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.